was fire and flame when this world began. The forge and foundry for the beginning of man. But soon this changed, as all things do. The old must make way for the new. Time for 1959.
In the mid-1960s, America was all about utility. People were coming out of hard times, wars, economic struggles, and years where being practical mattered more than comfort. Nobody was shopping for heated seats or luxury trim packages. They needed something that could do a little bit of everything. Vehicles like this were the solution. One day it's a school bus, the next day it's an ambulance, delivery drivers during the week, family road trippers on the weekend. And if you were around during Prohibition, well, let's just say it could haul more than grocery. And if you could drive 3 on tree, you were definitely boosting hooch. This was the original all-in-one multi-purpose vehicle. Stepping inside, the first thing you notice is the smell. It smells like a barn, rust, dust, and about 60 years of particulates floating around in the air. The interior is about as simple as it gets. No AC, no interior lighting, just the essentials. You've got 5 gauges, speedometer, fuel, oil pressure, temperature, and 1 mystery gauge that just goes along for the ride. Then you've got 6 buttons that control everything. Headlight, ignition, and whatever else Dodge figured you need. No menus, no setting. If something doesn't work, you'll feel it before you see it. When you're making a deal on a vehicle like this, there are a few non-negotiables. One of them is a pair of vice grips. If the deal doesn't come with vice grips, it's a no deal. Luckily, this one passed the test. And when you open the glove box, you always check for anything left behind. In this case, Grandma's vase, fully seasoned with dirt, an antique from a long time forgotten. The dash is straight steel, no plastic, no worrying about sun cracked panels. Door panels, plywood. Handles, refrigerator handles. The window still cranks and the side port windows still open, because when you don't have air conditioning, you figure something out. The steering still works. We've got headlight dimmers, which took me a while to figure out, and it's equipped with a 3-on-3 manual transmission. 3 gears, that's it. The clutch pedal is absolutely gone, but it still goes into gear, which feels promising. Let the world call me crazy, but this is gonna be the first 3-on-3 manual transmission turbo slant 6. The patina is staying original. Everything in here is simple, mechanical, and falling apart, just enough to give it character. Buttons are loose, panels are gone, but that's exactly how we roll with rigs like this. So let's get it pushed into the shop and see exactly what we're working with. Luckily, the engine bay was power washed before it came in here. Before that, it was basically one solid piece of mud. Now that we can actually see what we're working with, you'll notice this is a slant 6. From the factory, Dodge didn't offer a slant 6 in this vehicle, which tells us it was swapped at some point in its life. And honestly, that's a pretty common and sensible upgrade. Unfortunately, the engine is seized, so we're gonna have a blast with this one.
This is Chrysler's legendary Slant 6, introduced in 1960 and produced well into the mid-1980s. It earned the nickname, the Leaning Tower of Power, because the engine is tilted to lower the hoodline and improve packaging. Depending on the version, these engines made anywhere from about 100 to 145 horsepower, but power was never the point. The Slant 6 became famous for durability, forged crankshaft, big cast, iron block, and simple overbuilt internals. These engines were known to run for hundreds and thousands of miles with minimal maintenance. It wasn't flashy, but it was honest, reliable engineering, and that's exactly why people are still swapping and rebuilding them today. Hence, what brings us to this video.
I have an LS, I have Chevy short block, so why am I rebuilding a Slant 6? Simple, because the 225 is a beast. It is a tank of an engine. We're going for durability and performance. Now that we've got it up on the lift, this is where the real story starts. We've already had the engine somewhat torn apart. We know that there's a piston that's seized in there. Underneath though, things are actually better than expected. There's plenty of surface rust to go around, which is basically mandatory at this age. But no holes, thing looks like it's about to give up and fall on the floor. Structurally, it's solid, and that's the important part. The one definite replacement is the fuel tank. There's a big old dent in it and it seems like it was leaking at some point. But other than that, suspension looks like it's been worked on at some point. Between that and the slant 6, this truck has had a few chapters. How well those chapters went, that's still up for debate. Alan's over there swapping out the differential, keeping things moving on while I try to get this out of the way. Between the two of us, we've got, let's say, 10 years of experience. Or maybe it's more like I've got a solid 2 and Alan's doing the heavy lifting. Either way, it adds up. This is an aftermarket setup, and whoever installed it decided to weld a gasket on the headers that bolts on to the intake, so I couldn't take off the headers without taking off the intake, and there's absolutely zero chance of just sliding things out of the way. To make it even better, the exhaust is one solid piece, no flanges, no joints, so whoever built this committed to the idea that it should never come apart. And while we're in here, we realized we weren't the last ones to live in this thing. Looks like some critters set up shop, so before we get any further with the competition, let's serve them an eviction notice. No lease, no deposits, and absolutely no coming back. Yes, I dropped the engine. No, it's not damaged. Luckily, just a bolt snap. So, we're good. False alarm. At this point, we've already pulled the engine and the transmission, and I'll say this thing is not light. Easily a couple of tons combined, and honestly one of the heaviest setups I've ever dealt with. It's pure cast iron. There was a brief moment where I was convinced the cherry picker wasn't going to pick it up. Just looking at this thing over, it appears some of the valves may be bent, which tells us there's more going on inside. The plan from here is to swap the head entirely, replace it with a fresh unit. We're not Ricky Riches here, right? Maybe Amazon comes in clutch. That's later on down the road. We'll eventually go with new accessories across the board.
It's about 8 o'clock. We've been here all day. It seems like my boy Speedy Gonzalez just hit his last yepa yepa.
Speedy González se los trae. ¡Yepa, yepa! ¡Y arriba, arriba! ¡Ándale, arriba, arriba, yepa!
So it's a common thing I've seen across Slant 6 is timing chains. They're always loose. This is looser than... never mind. I can't say that. But it's pretty loose. Either way, it's getting a brand new one, so...
Matco Tools can show you how. Matco Tools.
Tenemos agua frescas, tenemos horchata, chocolate abuelita, Nesquik, Chocomil. Si les gustan aguas frescas con oxidación, este es su lugar. Yes, sir. We got rust, we got oxidation, we got junk, we got everything you could ever ask for.
Cultural appropriation after posting a video on how to make spa water, a drink that already exists in Latino communities as agua fresca. Agua Fresca is a
Just see all the wear. This is oil and coolant mixing together, forming puddles. This was definitely not driving. It hasn't been driving for a long time.
talking first with a video in which she makes what she calls spa water out of cucumbers, water, and sugar. She does not mention agua fresca in the video, but does...
I'll be honest, I haven't been hitting the gym for a long time, so even if I wanted to, I wouldn't be able to curl this for you guys. But crank, solid. Just looking at the block, there's no major wear and tear, so everything is pretty good. But as previously mentioned, cylinder 2, the piston is seized in there. I've already put PB Blaster, I've let it soak for a while. It's time for bigger reinforcements. Now the cam and the crank are solid. It's as good as it gets. I don't see the need to get them sent out. Maybe we could give them a polish or something. Getting that piston out of the cylinder was a pain in the butt, but luckily everything went without a hitch. Cylinders look fine. Now just looking at this block, we're definitely reusing the block. We're getting it sent out to the machine shop. Don't know what to do with it. I'm thinking we're going to bore out the cylinders, put bigger pistons in there, crank and cam. That's something I have to do research because I'm not quite sure if we have to get a new one if we're going for boost. But stay tuned. We got some awesome content for you guys.